the first Europeans that arrived as permanent settlers in the valley, John Lehman and Mr. Schwab, brought with them the sounds of wagons loaded with supplies and tools being pulled as a team through grass as high as their horses' backs. In 1867, 5 years after Lincoln's American dream was offered, they staked out 2,000 acres, 1,000 each, encompassing the sides of the Lost River, near where the reservoir sits in the valley today. They also claimed all of its water rights, so any using the river would have to pay them for the privilege. Though this prospect for their water rights never happened, they ingeniously built a sod and grass cabin, or a soddy, in the bank of a warm spring, heating the soddy with its fresh, non-beaver fever waters. Otherwise, they would need about 5 full cords of wood for additional heating. Using the heat from the spring only required a couple of cords a year for cooking. Also, no local government was around to hold them to just 168 acres as the act had declared. Within 2 years, the valley was beginning to be dotted with buckboard wagons, tents, and cabin starts. They were building not so much for the land, but because they were prospecting for any metals that might be of value in the area, while simultaneously farming their needed grains, roots, plants, chickens, goats, and beef to live. However, the settlers did hunt the buffalo and deer first to preserve their growing herds. Pony Express stations at each end of the valley from north to west were established to communicate with newly built military outposts at Chalice and Salmon. This cabin used to be a Pony Express cabin. And for some reason, a lot of people think the Pony Express was invented by the people of the United States, but it was actually invented by the Romans. When this was put together, the world really hadn't changed since the time of Rome. I mean, they had locomotives and telegraphs, but other than that, they were still pulling wagons with horses and using the Pony Express. Indians would come here during the summers. They would hunt buffalo, and but they really wouldn't winter here. The winters, they called this place the land of 2 long winters. And so even though it's beautiful for 6 months out of the year, it is pretty heavy winters the other 6. The Pony Express, that was originally here after they built the road up here. It wasn't a highway, but they built a road all the way over to Chalice by hand. I mean, it was shovel work. After they built that, the cabins, well, they pretty much stayed along the stream bed so they could have a well, and water. So they'd had the buffalo for food, and they would bring tack with them, mainly from Blackfoot. They set up a station down there where they could bring up tack and stuff. And they would keep that for the winter and store it in here. I don't think they ran the Pony Express during the winter because of the snow depth.